So as it's 9 o'clock, sharp 9 o'clock, so I would start. जानामि धर्मं न च मे प्रवृत्तिर् जानाम्य धर्मं न च मे निवृत्तिः त्वया स्वामिना हृदि स्थितेन यथा नियुक्तोऽस्मि तथा करोमि अंतराय तिमिरौघ शान्तये श्रेष्ठ शक्ति करुणारुणाप्रभं सन्तनोतु मुनिवृन्द सेवितं भावगम्यम् अनिशं शिवं महः करुणापूरिचित्तां सच्चिद्रूपां परां दिव्यां ब्रह्म सहचरीं तुर्यां बगलां शक्तिं प्रणौमि सौभाग्याम् यत् कारुण्यं वेक्ष भावभरितं सानन्दगीतं सतां तच्चिन्ता निपुणैः क्षुब्धमतयो ये साधकाः सज्जनाः तेषां लब्धकृपालवेन जननी बोधोदयो मे अभवत् तदवृत्तं विनिवेद साम्प्रतमहं तोषं परं प्राप्तवान्. Jai Mai Maharaj ki to all the Sahayogis present today to do the sadhana of Śiva Sūtra's Dvitiya Unmesh Śāktopāya. So this, as we have discussed last time only, that Śiva Sūtra is divided into three Unmesh, Pratham, Dvitiya and Tritiya, where Pratham Unmesh is Shambhavopāya, Dvitiya Unmesh is Śāktopāya and Tritiya Unmesh is Arnavopāya. In Shri Nitya Shodashi Karanam, we are Mahamaheshwara Parameshwar Shiv himself tells about three kinds of puja: Apara puja, Parapara puja and Para puja. So if you look at the quality of those three kinds of puja, you will find that Apara puja mentioned there only is Anavopaya, Parapara puja is Śāktopāya and Shambhavopāya is Para puja. So the only difference is difference of name, because the perspective there has changed. Here it is Shambhavopāya, Śāktopāya, Anavopāya because Śiva Sūtra. So here Shiv, Avadhan of Shiv is there, means investigation on and attainment of Shiv and realization of Shiv is there. In the case of Shri Nitya Shodashi Karano, that Shri Tripur Sundari Bhagavati Para Shodashi is is investigated and her sadhana only is supreme there. So in that sense, the Para Puja, Para Puja and Apara Puja is mentioned. So last week we did a Shambhavopāya. Shambhavopāya is for those sadhaks who have, by the virtue of their previous sadhana of this birth or previous birth, and by the grace of Parameshwar, who appears in the form of Guru only, has graced and they have attained Tivra level of Shaktipat. So there are 9 kind of Shaktipat. So in Tivra there are Tivra Madhya and Tivra Manda. So those who have attained Tivra level Shaktipat are the sadhaks of the Shambhavopāya. Then after that, Madhyam Shreni sadhak means Madhya Tivra, Madhya and Madhya Manda Shreni Shaktipat Siddhi sadhaks take refuge to this Śāktopāya. So in this Śāktopāya, the first sutra talks about, there are total 10 sutras in Śāktopāya. Like in Shambhavopāya we had 22 sutras, here only 10 sutras are there. So the first sutra is Chittam Mantraha. The first sutra is Chittam Mantraha. In the last Unmesh, Pratham Unmesh in Shambhavopāya, we have seen that mantra is Shakti only. Shakti Swarup only is mantra. In the last sutra only, if you would say Maha Hridanusandhanan Mantra Viryanubhavaha, Shuddha Vidyodaya Chakreshwaratva Siddhi. All these sutras point out to the fact that Shakti herself is mantra. And here again the form of that mantra is explained. So it is that Chittam Mantraha. So in order to understand that what is, so the as sutra is Chittam Mantraha. In order to understand that what is the abstract meaning of this sutra, first Chit shall be understood. So the Chit is one which does Chintan of Atma Tattva. The one which does Chintan of Atma Tattva. When we say man, we all know that man is their man. So mind. So mind is nothing. Mind is just like a screen. But the real show happens on Chit. And in Pratyabhigya Hridayam it is said Chitire Chetana Padarura Chitta Sankochini Chittam. So the Chit is limited Chiti Swarup. So what happens here? Atma Tattva ka Anubhav means on your consistent, there is consistent realization of yourself. If suppose you are in Anam Avastha, means like we are in we are suppose Deh Pramata, we are Deh Pramata. So in that case, what happens? We consistently think upon ourselves, because okay, I am Girirat Mishra, today I have to take the class, and that after taking class I will go and sleep, and then again in the morning I start next day's activities, and these are the plans for next day. So likewise, you all would have some thought process in your mind. So what is the basis of all this? So all this happens on chit. So that is chit on which the Atma Tattva Vimarsh consistently happens. So as when you do the Vimarsh of your own Swaswarup, means your true form, when you do Vimarsh of your true form on that chit platform, then it becomes mantra, because that mantra is mananat trayate asmat tasmat mantram avidhiyate, means consistent remembering. So by the time you would consistently remember yourself on the platform which is called as chit, so at that time the chit, because consistent remembrance is happening there, consistent remembering, manan ho raha hai. So when consistent manan and remembrance is there, then this chit reflects as mantra. So that's why it is said that chittam mantra. Now, when the mantra is there, so sadhak would also be there. Obviously, when the mantra is there, so sadhak is also there. So who is sadhak? Prayatnah sadhakah. It is said that prayatnah sadhakah. So the efforts, intrinsic efforts which are made consistently, means when you are consistently thinking upon your swa, your real self, that consistent thought process and the effort which is done to do that consistent thought process is known as sadhak. That effort, prayatna sadhakah, that effort is sadhak. That effort is sadhak. See, it is very beautiful description here. So it is very beautiful description here, because see, in general you would say that okay, how is it possible? I am doing sadhana, so how is it possible that efforts are sadhak? So the fact is that when you are consistently doing, because when you are doing the mantra is chit, and the remembrance is of your true self. So here your Atma Tattva is Devata. Here your Atma Tattva is Devata. No one else is Devata. Your Atma Tattva only is Devata. So as your Atma Tattva is Devata, you are consistently remembering that Atma Tattva. So the fact is that the effort which is made for this entire process is the sadhak. Now what happens? Now the explanation of effort, that prayatna also is explained. So how it is? The effort is to do the Vishwamed. Effort is to do the Vishwamed. Means that Shiva Tattva, which is nothing but you yourself are Shiva. There is no Shiva. There is no incarnation. Koi avatar nahi hoga. You yourself are Shiva. So the effort which is put to do the Vishwamed means to dissolve all the surroundings, means all the Neel and Sukh, means subjective and objective existence in your Shiva Tattva within is the effort. So how the effort would be made here? So the effort would not be a general effort, means it would not be a general effort of consistent thinking only. So when you would do the consistent thinking of Swa, so the process would be that while looking at surrounding, because even if your mind is thinking, you are consistently seeing the outside pictures, outside views are there. So what will be done? You will consistently do the ahuti of all these scenes, means your joy, sorrow are your subjective existence and objective existence, like books are the laptop and this tripod, all these means phone, mobile, etc. All these things you would consistently, all the efforts, all extrinsic efforts would be kept on being offered in the Swa, in the Shiva Tattva. So that process is Prayatna. So now we have seen the sadhak and mantra also. So now the question is that what is the secret of that mantra? What is mantra rahasya? So for that Parameshwar Shiv says, Vidya Sharir Satta Mantra Rahasyam. Existence, so the literal meaning would be Vidya Sharir Satta Mantra Rahasyam. means the existence of that Shuddha Vidya, Shiva Vidya. Here Shuddha Vidya is not Shuddha Vidya Tattva. Shuddha Vidya Tattva is not discussed. Shuddha Vidya means Parmeshwar Shiva, Shiva Vidya. That Mahachiti who is Shuddha Vidya. So she only herself is mantra rahasya. And how does it happen? So Gurudev says Paramadvaita Samvedan Rupaya Vidyaya Shariram Akhila Shabda Rasvihi Tasyalpa Hanta Purna Hanta Cha Sattat Puranmev Mantra Guptarth Syat Padak Syatotpadakam Iti Rahasyam, means the Paramadvaita Swarupa Shuddha Vidya is of the form of she is Matrika Chakra only. To be very clear, in the Vishwamaya Shakti only appears as in the form of Matrika Chakra. So even Purnahanta is like Aham Idam, that kind of means this entire creation is me only. And Alpahanta is like me and discriminative thought, me and you, means I am different and you are different. So she deliberates herself in these two forms. So that only is her satta. So even if she deliberates in discriminative nature, she does not give up her real form, because that deliberation in limited form is just a reflection and a gimmick. It is just a trick, nothing more than trick. So that trick, when she plays, at that state also she stays at Purnahanta, because she is consistently doing present in this world in the form of Vishwamaya. So her curing in those forms, in Akhil Shabdamay Swarup, means in Matrika Chakra Swarup, only is the secret of this mantra. Now, because Purna Vidya, Shuddha Vidya stops, so Mahamaya also is discussed, and then that is Garbhe Chitta Vikaso Avishishta Vidya Swapnaha. So in Mahamaya Shakti, within whom the Chit develops, is Ashuddha Vidya. So the Chit, as I have told, that it is limited by nature. Chit is limited by nature, limited form of Chiti. And at what level that Chiti becomes Chit? At Mahamaya Tattva level. So Mahamaya, so that's why it is said that Garbhe Chitta Vikaso Avishishta Vidya Swapnaha. So what will happen here? That the Vidya, that Chit which has developed at Mahamaya level, at this in the Garbh of Mahamaya, is not complete and is like Swapna. That is like Swapna. Okay. So that is like Swapna only. So these are the two forms in which she appears here. And then what is next? So now the results of sadhana. Now the effects of sadhana are discussed. That what are the results of sadhana? So what he says, that Vidya Samuthane Swabhavike Khechari Shivavastha. So it is said that by the wish of Parmeshwar only. Here it is very important fact that everything would happen by the wish of Parmeshwar only. There is nothing which would not happen by the wish of Parmeshwar. There is nothing which would not come into being without the wish of Parmeshwar. So what is that? It is said that by the wish of Parmeshwar only, Paramadvait, that samvid which does Spuran, means Spandan, in the form, and that level Paramadvait means at the Anuttar level, she cures. And then what happens? Seeker reached Swabhavik, means naturally seeker reaches to the level of Khechari Shivavastha. Seeker naturally reaches to the level of Khechari Shivavastha. So this only is known as as we have in previous Shri Paratrimshka, we have discussed a lot about Khechari. So what is Khechari? So Khe is means Parashakti herself is Khechari. So Khechari, Bhuchari, Dikchari, Gochari, like that. Khechari, Bhuchari, Gochari, Dikchari, like that. We have discussed the 4 forms of her. So all these discussions have done in the last previous session. And Khechari Shakti is what Khechari is Parashakti, and then when Parashakti cures within Swa, what would happen? So the ultimate realization would happen that we are nothing but that Anuttar only. That Anuttaratva would be then, that only is known as Kaulik Siddhi. So that same thing is mentioned here, that Vidya Samuthane Swabhavike, when the Vidya would cure, means by the time your Chit is there, means Mahamaya, the Chit which has came into being by the virtue of Mahamaya, Tattva, till the time it exists, the limited forms would be then Swapnavat, entire creation would be there. But by the grace of Parmeshwar, by the Ichha Shakti of Parmeshwar, when you would be able to realize your real Swa, okay, when you would be able to realize who you are, real Swa means who you are, at that state only that Khechari Samya Avastha would happen, means, and Khe means sky, means that is Chid Gagan. That Chid Gagan means that Shiv. Chid Gagan means Chid, you would say what is Chid, so I would say that Chid is true. That Chinmay, Chetan, the one which is Chetan, that is Chid. So in that Chetan, Akash, because this is Jad, this entire creation is Jad. So if you say that how it is Jad, so if you ask me how it is Jad, so I will say that okay, the book is here, the scripture is here, it's from in the book, it's in the form of book, and the pen is there. Can pen automatically write on book? No, it would not happen. Why it would not happen? Because they both are inert in their nature and both are independent. So there is no Karya Karana Bhav Sambandh between them. Means writing would not happen when paper and pen are available. You will have to take out pen, you will have to open the pen, and then you will have to start writing. And you only would be able to do that by the virtue of Shiv. Some amount of Chetana is there within you, but not complete Chetana is there. So as complete Chetana is not there, what would happen? Shiv Ichha would be Balvati. So whatever you do by the virtue of Ichha of Shiv only. There is nothing else which is making anything possible. There is nothing else which is making anything possible in this world. So that Shivecha only is that Ichha Shakti of Shiv only works. And when that Ichha Shakti would bond, all your bonds would be revealed. And Vidya Samuthane means Samuthana of Vidya means rise, dawn of that Shuddha Vidya would happen, and Swabhavik and naturally you will attain Khechari Shivavastha. And how it would happen? So that is there is most important sutra here, and it says Guru Upayah, means the Guru only is that solution by which all this would happen. So how? Because that Ishwar, that Parashakti, which is Ishwara Nugrahatmika, that Parashakti only is Guru. Or you can say that the physical Guru present in front of you is incarnation of that Parashakti in this human embodiment. So when Guru would want, you would be able to realize the mantra. Or suppose all the mantras, major mantras are given in book. If someone would start doing mantra jap, and I have personally seen that people have suffered, tremendously suffered when they have started doing the mantras on their own, specifically some high level mantras. So when the Guru showers grace, that only says that Shive Chaya Paramadvaita Samvedan Roop Swabhavik Samvedan Samuthanam Bhavati. So that when the Parameshwari Ichha would quiver, then only you would be able to realize that supreme state. Then only you would be able to realize that supreme state. And as that Ishwara, that Shakti is nothing but Guru. That Parashakti is nothing but Guru. In various scriptures we have seen Yatha, in Kularna, etc. also it has been mentioned that Guru is nothing but Shakti, Guru and Devta and Mantra are one. So that only is mentioned here. So by the grace of Guru, you would be able to realize that as Guru only gives the Mantra and Mutra, and Guru only is that Parashakti. And when the Guru would shower his grace, what would happen? When Guru would bless you, that Upaya which is Guru, that solution which is Guru, blesses you, what will happen? Matrika Chakra Sambodha. So now it is very important thing. Matrika Chakra Sambodha. We have talked about Aham Pratyavamarsh. We talked about Aham Pratyavamarsh. in enough details that what is the real form of mantra. So, but here in Chittam mantra, that Aham Pratyamarsh has been explained in very beautiful form. If you look at first sutra only, we will go to first sutra again before we take up seventh sutra, because Matrika Chakra has come. So, without knowing the real form of mantra, Matrika Chakra cannot be understood. So, Aham Pratyamarsh is means A stands for Anuttar, Ha stands for Shakti, and Ma stands for Jiv. Jiv, or means human being, like we are human being. So what will happen? Aham means consistent, that consistent remembrance of that would happen. So here the same thing is mentioned. In the chit, your chit is able to see, Parmeshwar has given you a capability that even the chit is limited. Even the chit is limited. You can do both kind of deliberations on the chit. You can do jad deliberation also, means okay, wow, what a beautiful flower, what a beautiful building, or see what a pleasant weather is there, okay, I feel enjoy, I'm enthralled, like that. And you can be enthralled by the virtue of mantra jap also, because when you consistently do mantra jap, the Shuddha Samvit quivers. When the mantra jap is done, Samvit Chakrodaya happens. So number of letters of mantra recited during one pranachar is equal to one Samvit Chakrodaya. That is very basic layman definition. So when the Samvit Chakrodaya would happen, your chitta would consistently do the paramarsh of Swa. That only is known as, and as it will do the consistent paramarsh of Swa, that chitta will consistently do this thing. Chitta itself becomes mantra. And parachiti only parat pratyak chiti rupa. So all the mantras are paramani only. So, and the chit is in reality, chit only is chiti. Chit is chiti. So there is means there is no further description required. So the fact is that as it is like the chittam mantra, so atma tattva ka, when atma tattva chintan happens on chitta becomes mantra. Why it becomes? So it is very clear. Means again, by last line I will paraphrase this thing. Why it will happen? Because that Paratattva only is Paravak, and Paravak is the supreme form of any mantra. And in Paravak, you cannot discriminate. Okay, and within Paravak, okay, I reached Paravak level. Okay, I see. Okay, see, it is Baglavaki mantra, and beyond that, okay, and then first in row on the top is a Mahashodashi mantra. Like that, there is nothing discriminate. Okay, I can see the letters. So you can't see only Aham Vimarshu means only Shuddha Para means, and then everything is in condensed form. There is no such discrimination. And when that consistent vimarsh would happen in your chit, at some level, when you would be able to reach to a state that nothing else would be there which is not mantra. So same thing has been told by Mahameshwaracharya Venugupta ji. So it is the process which is mentioned how it happens. Tav chakil na stutirambike sakal shabdamai kilate tanu. So that only said Vidya Sharir Satta Mantra Rahasyam. Abhinavgupta also says Tav chakil na stutirambike Sakal Shabdamai Kilate Tanu. Your bodies Sakal Shabdamai. So same thing is said Vidya Sharir Satta Mantra Hasyam. So this is shloka of Devi Mahi means Mahameshwaracharya Venugupta, which he has cited. Unfortunately, we do not at present we do not have that sutra with us, and certainly it is present somewhere in this world. So that's the narrative is the same. So this is the Chittam mantra. And what will happen when all this would happen? Matrika Chakra Sambodha. Matrika Chakra Sambodha. So you would be able to realize the Matrika Chakra. So what will happen by the realization? I will tell you something. When the Matrika Chakra Sambodha happens, you would be able to do creation, operation, destruction, and Anugrah and Tirodhan also. Panchakritya Sampanna. And you would be able to realize at the level of sadhana, you would be able to realize even the meaning of Bijakshars. In general, it is said that Bij mantras do not have any meaning, and it is not true. All the Bij mantras have meaning. But the fact is, you shall be able to realize that what is Matrika Chakra. So Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Anga, all these letters have their reflection in the word in the form of 36 tattvas. And A, I, U, R, Ichha, Jnana, Kriya. And Ang, Ah is Visarg, and that Visarg is Avyakt. That cannot be discussed here. So by realizing that Matrika Sambodh means it's not that what I am saying you have learned, okay, you crammed, and or maybe as I have crammed, you also cram, and you would be able to become Matrika Chakra. Sambodh means within your chit, that Matrika Chakra would quiver and all the meanings would be realized. And when it would happen, what will happen? Then Shariram Havi, Shivadya Niparyantam Brahmadi Stav Sanyutam Kalagnyadi Shivantam Cha Jagad Yagen Tripyatu. So this entire body would become Havi, means Ahuti. Havi is Vedic Havi, means Ahuti Havishya. So entire body, your Shariram Havi, the body itself would become Havi, and your Sthul and Sukshma Sharir would be offered in Chidagni. That Chidagni Kunda Samhuta Devakara Samudyata. So that Chidagni, that Chetan Agni. So we have seen that example of Jad and Chetan. So Jad is one which is inert in itself, which cannot operate on itself. You will have to make it operate. And Chetan is one which is Chetan. So that Chetan is, we are also not Chetan completely. That Chetan is Parmeshwar because Parmeshwar is enthralled by Mahachiti consistently. So in that Parmeshwar Shiva only, your Sthul and Sukshma Sharir would be offered as Ahuti, and it is said that Jnanam Annam. So in first Prathamonmesh, we have talked about Jnanam Bandha. Prathamonmesh, we talked about Jnanam Bandha. So Anav, Karma and Mayi Mal, these are Agyan. So those three Mal would become Ahuti here, Anna. So, okay, so those three would become Anna, means they would also be offered in that Chidagni. So when your Anav, Karma and Mayi Mal or Agyan, to be honest, Jnanam Anna means that Agyan, Jnanam Bandha. So that Agyan which was bondation would be offered in that fire. Would be offered in that fire, that Chidagni, and or you can also say that the Yogagni, and after that what would happen? So Vidya Sanghare Tadip Swapna Darshanam. So till the time that avidya does not reach to its termination point and Parameshwari Shuddha Vidya, that Parameshwari Shuddha Vidya, Shuddha Chitti does not cure, you will consistently have Swapna Darshan. Swapna Darshan would be consistently there. Swapna Darshan means that we have discussed in Garbha Chitta Vikaso Avishishta Vidya Swapna. So that avidya means that limited Mahamaya, say Ashuddha Vidya. That Ashuddha Vidya would consistently keep you in this illusory world. Illusory means this illusion. But as the Shuddha Vidya would cure, means what will happen when Sharir would become Havi, you would offer that, and that Agyan would become Anna, means that also would be offered in the fire. What will happen? Vidya Sanghare Tadutta Swapna Darshanam, means till the time it would not happen, you would be in this illusory and dream world. But by the time that Shuddha Vidya would quiver, Paramadvaita Anubhav Swarupa Shuddha Vidya would quiver, means that Shuddha Vidya, what is the form of that Shuddha Vidya? That is of the form of realization of Paramadvaita. That is of the form of realization of Paramadvaita. Paramadvaita Anubhav Rupa Vidya is Shuddha Vidya. So by the time it would quiver, all these illusions would be shattered, and as your Sukshma and Sthul Sharir, all those things would be offered, its entire creation would be offered. Matrika Chakra Sambodh would happen. You would be able to realize. Matrika Chakra Sambodh not only would make you realize the mantra, because see, everything is connected here. So by the time Matrika Chakra Sambodh or Matrika Chakra realization would happen, you would become Akul, Shiva. You would become Akul Shiva. Akula Syasa Deva Sekula Prathana Shalini. So that Prathan of Kul Shakti only is Matrika Chakra. So you would be able to realize the Kauliki Shakti, and that is Mahachiti, that is Para, that is Khechari Samya. So Khechari Samya would happen, and whatever happens, joy or sorrow comes to your life, or you good or bad, whatever means whatever, you would be in this consistent state of mind that okay, that all is of being offered in that Agni only, and all this even means someone praises you, someone insults you, nothing would happen to you. All these thoughts would be of no use, and you would resort in Parameshwar's Paramshiv's that state, and by that Śāktopāya Dvitiya Unmesh Samapta, means it's concluded here. Jai Mai Maharaj ki. if there is any doubt or question, we can discuss, or otherwise we can conclude the session, because there were only 10 sutras, so it has concluded in half an hour only. हाँ जी, हाँ जी, राय साहब।
Namaste.
नमस्ते जी।
Are Khechuri and are Khechuri and Chidgaganchari are same, or Khechuri transformed as Chidgaganchari? You referred over here once while discussing Khechuri.
They both are same, means Khechari Shakti only travels with
To
bird flies in the sky, so that है ना, Chidgaganchari है ना, so you say Pakshi, you say bird, whatever, that all is same. They are synonyms only.
Another small thing, I think that is about when you explained in the last session as Uddama Bhairava. I don't know whether I misunderstood or not, but while you are referring to that, when someone practices the higher mantra, some difficulties arises. So I find so Uddama Bhairava must be through some guru. One cannot take initiative of his own and then recognize it as a Uddama.
So see, I have already mentioned that Shambhavopaya is for those who have attained Tivra level Shaktipat.
So that's why.
Tivra to immediately life would go. Tivra Madhya, Tivra Mantra level Shaktipat would happen. Then only, so obviously, and Guru Rupaya is there.
Namaste.
Ji. So I think we can conclude now. If there is, okay, आप प्रांतिक जी बताइए।
आपने जो बोला ये मातृका चक्र संबोध का, तो यहाँ पे जो बोला कि उस व्यक्ति को पंचकृत्य का वो आ जाता है, सामर्थ्य आ जाता है।
जी जी।
तो पंचकृत्य का सामर्थ्य आ जाना मतलब क्या, वो पराहंता की स्थिति में पहुंच गया, मतलब वो शिवत्व के, क्योंकि वो तो तब दूसरा द्वितीय किसी का तो पंचकृत्य हो नहीं सकता।
हाँ, वही वो शिवत्व की है। देखिए मातृका चक्र का संबोध होने के, देखिए आप मैं बता दूं, जो भी है विश्व में, ऑल दिस विश्वमय स्टेट, all this this entire world is existing because matrika chakra is on. Okay, by the time matrika chakra would be off, this world would not exist. So whatever is happening in this world, you will be, you as this is Shiva, so akul Shiva, akul Shivatva would be siddha. So that akula syasa devasya kul prathanashalini. So Kauliki Siddhi would happen when Matrika Chakra Sambodh happened, means Kauliki Siddhi happened. And that's why before it is said that Vidya Samuthane Swabhavike Khechari Shivavastha. So Khechari Samne would happen, so automatically that state would be attained. So Panchakritya would be Siddha. So that Panchakritya Siddhi is subordinate Siddhi.
Subordinate Siddhi, okay.
It is means when Parameshwarat is attained, so automatically अब राष्ट्रपति बन गए हैं तो सारे अधिकार तो हो ही गए।
तो ये आपने जो बाद में बताया कि वो जैसे हम शब्दों, मतलब लौकिक अर्थ में जैसे हम शब्दों का अर्थ निकालते हैं, तब वो मतलब शब्दों का अर्थ निकालना हो जाता है, तो शब्द अपने आप में ही अर्थ बन जाते हैं, जो आपने कहा कि
जी, I will tell you what happens in Vyakaran. If I explain with terms of Om is there, in terms, if you take an example of Vyakaran. So from Om, all the words have evolved. So if Sukh or joy, so joy spreads in the world. So likewise Ghar or home, so home or Ghar would be spread in the world. So this is fort. That only is the concept. I am giving a very raw definition, and then so many things are there. In Brahmakand is required Vakyapadi, and then in Tantra also the same concept is there. When these matrikas come, Vyanjan are Yoni and Swar are Veer. So when Yoni and Veer would come together, Shiva or Shakti would come together, the word would start creating. Because you see the vowels have fluid nature. If Ka would go with A, it will become K. So likewise in pot you fill the water. So the water will take the shape of that pot. So that fluidity, due to that fluidity, the vowel has Veera nature, means semen, and that is Vyanjan is Yoni. So Shiva and Shakti are there. When they two come together, the word comes into being. And Matrika Chakra Sambodha means Matrika Chakra Siddhi. So by the virtue of that, he can create anything. So you might have heard about Vishuddhananda Paramahansa ji.
Surya Vigyan.
Surya Vigyan, and then so many Vigyan are there. So the basic concept is this Siddhi only. Surya Vigyan, Vayu Vigyan, Chandra Vigyan, so many. Swara Vigyan is also there. By Swarodaya also this could be done. And Swarodaya is simplest.
मतलब ये जो कहा जाता है कि मंत्र शास्त्र में कि पहले एक होता है कि शब्दों का अर्थ निकालना और अर्थ अपने आप में शब्द बन जाना, जो तो वो अर्थ अपने आप में जो शब्द बन जाता है कि अर्थ ही शब्द है, तो वो वाली स्थिति के बाद जाके संबोध होता है या संबोध के समय में ही वो स्थिति होती है?
See, I will tell you what happens at the time of Sambodh, because it is otherwise it will become very complex. So by the time of Sambodh means by the time you would realize Matrika Chakra, if you take in terms of mantra, Aham Pratyamar should start happening. And all the mantra, the real form of every single mantra is Aham Pratyamar only, which means Anuttar has become Shakti and then it has become Nar and is deliberating in this world. That realization would happen. And that's why Abhinavgupta says that the person who does not know first and last, means A and Ha, along with Bindu, is not entitled to give discourses on Puran, even Puran or any mantra, or he is not allowed to do any discussion on all these Shastras. So that is Aham. He says that Aham Pratyamarshin means Matrika Chakra Sambodh is must for doing all this. This is entitlement. And in Paratrimshika it is said that mantra mantreshwar, mantra maheshwaratva se bhi aage, one who has reached beyond mantra maheshwaratva is such person. Okay. Ji.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think Haji. Namaste ji.
So one more adding to the Gupta ji. In the Matrika Nyasa, okay, in the Matrika Nyasa, there are three kramas, right? Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara. So in the Srishti, we at the Bindu, Im, then the Samhara, Visarga will. Then there's Sthiti, we include the both. So what will be the the explanation? I can understand. Just I want to hear from you, like so why we do these three with these.
Now let me explain.
Yeah.
Now let me explain. See, from A to Ha.
Yeah.
When you say A, I, U, okay. Yeah. So first is Anuttar. From Anuttar, this entire Matrika Chakra has come into being.
Right.
Okay. So when we say Srishtikram, so from A to Ha.
Right.
Okay, and in Sangharakram, it would be in reverse direction. Right. So from Ha to A.
Right.
So these are the two chains. Sthiti means from center.
Right.
Okay, so that is there. And both then again Visarg is Avyakt. So Visarg cannot discuss here.
Right.
And there are so many details are very intricate and these details shall not be. Visarg is Avyakt. So Avyakt, it shall not be discussed publicly. I will not go. Ang and Ah are there, they are very important.
Right.
Means I will not be able to. So both are together, it means that both the processes are in equilibrium, I will say.
Equilibrium, right.
Like you say, like
I tell you,
just a minute. Agni Shomatmakam Jagat kaha jata hai. This word has come into being by the virtue of sun, moon and fire.
Right.
And these are not this sun, moon and fire. Or even if you take this also,
right.
I'll give you an example. Sun would fire would when heat up moon.
Right.
Som would trickle.
Right.
So when sun would heat the moon, Som would trickle and the creation would happen.
Right.
When the sun would heat up fire, it will become Pralayagni.
Right.
And the entire world would destroy.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Entire world would. So Som is Visarga.
Right.
And Bindu. So when in the state of equilibrium,
Right.
In the state of equilibrium, what happens? Sun, moon, and fire, all the three are in
balance.
in balance.
Right.
And that is why Mrityunjay is called as Netra Bhattarak.
Netra. Right.
You know, Netra Tantra.
Right.
The Tantra of Mrityunjay is called as Netra Tantra. Why? Because sun, moon, and fire,
Balance.
all three are in equilibrium.
Right.
You know? So that's why that is Netra Tantra.
Okay.
And as this state is, and when the Mahachiti keeps sun, moon, and fire in equilibrium, at that time, Saguna Sarup, she is called as Baglavati.
Bagla. Okay.
So that's why she is, her Bhairava is Mrityunjay or Netra Bhattarak.
Right.
So this is the fact.
Yeah. So thank you.
Okay, ji. Okay, ji. Fir, I would like to, if there is no further question, any question, so I would like to conclude the session for the day, and I am thankful to all my Vardi Sahayogis.
Namaste.
Namaste, ji.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste, ji.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, madam.
Thank you. Namaste.